And now, dear sisters and brothers, dear friends, it is time to come to the report of the chairperson of the Finance Committee. May I ask the chairperson of the committee, Ms. Christina Jackson-Skelton, to present the report, which is on Exhibit 5.5. The report was added to your welcome bag, and the electronic version has been made available on the file link on Tuesday, 9th of May, to those who prefer reading the electronic version. Here you can see in a moment where you find this link. So please, we are ready to hear your presentation,
Thank
your
you,
report.
Bishop Savini. Friends in Christ, good afternoon. It is my privilege to share with you today an overview of the financial performance, accomplishments, and challenges of the Lutheran World Federation during the 7-year period from 2010 through 2016. But at first, it is important to begin with some words of gratitude. The Lutheran World Federation is only able to deliver on its mission because of the faithful support of member churches, their related organizations, and ecumenical partners. Together, we are more than funding partners. We share a purpose and vision, work together to shape and achieve common goals, support program plans, and respond to crisis situations around the globe. Together, we are a communion in Christ, working, living together for a just, peaceful, and reconciled world. After the 2010 assembly in Stuttgart, Germany, the LWF Council restructured the Communion Office with the aim of creating a more robust and well-governed organization that is increasingly professional, effective, and accountable. At that time, the LWF Finance Office became part of the new Department for Planning and Operations. The goals of the restructuring included that LWF achieves a growing and diversified funding base that supports the sustainability of the Communion Office into the future, including sustained and steady membership fee contributions by its member churches. A strong culture of stewardship that emphasizes responsible investments, calculated risk-taking, cost consciousness, spending within estimated income, and making effective use of the resources entrusted to us. Strong partnership and collaboration with funding partners, and excellence in financial management and accountability. During the period 2010 to 2017, the Finance Committee of the Council has provided oversight in accordance with these objectives and with attention to good accounting practices and financial management. I would like to thank the committee for their very important work. The Finance Office administers the assets of the LWF in accordance with high professional and ethical standards and in compliance with financial and accounting regulations. The Finance Office is also responsible for managing the Communion Office financial resources efficiently and spearheading efforts toward future financial sustainability. During this 7-year period, LWF initiated many changes to strengthen its systems, processes, and results. These changes included improved and unified financial operating systems, new funding applications, amended policies and guidelines, strengthened internal control systems, reduced costs of operations, improved coordination and collaboration of the finance functions across the LWF departments. They introduced a decentralized finance office site to achieve efficiencies and lower costs, and oversaw timely and prudent planning in response to cost increases stemming from a 15% appreciation of the Swiss franc. The LWF financial reports are prepared in accordance with international financial reporting standards, which are widely accepted by funding agencies. The following slides will now highlight the results from the last 7-year period. This first chart shows the income received for the Lutheran World Federation for the 7 years from 2010 to 2017 through 2016, along with the portion designated for each of the LWF departments. At a time when many churches and church-related organizations face financial challenges, we can look back with gratitude for the growth in LWF's resources. Despite declining income from some traditional donors and negative variance from currency exchange fluctuations, the total income of the Lutheran World Federation almost doubled over the past 7 years. Income increased from 76 million euro in 2010 to 151 million euro in 2016, which is an increase of 74 million or 98%. This growth has been mainly driven by increased funding designated for the Lutheran World Federation's humanitarian response and also revenue from expanded patient services provided by the Augusta Victoria Hospital in Jerusalem. The total income to the Lutheran World Federation from 2010 through 2016 was 779 million euro. The income was distributed in the following ways. 11 million euro, or 1.4%, went to the Communion's theological, ecumenical, interfaith, and global advocacy work through the Department for Theology and Public Witness. This was an increase of about euro 1.6 million, or 243%, over 6 years. 55 million euro, or 7.1%, was earmarked for strengthening the member church's capacity for holistic mission and communion building through the Department for Mission and Development. There was a decrease of 31% over the period in income for DMD. 523 million euro, or 67.1%, was designated for our humanitarian response work carried out by World Service. There was an increase of 81% over the period for this work. Another 173 million, or 22.2%, was received for patient services at Augusta Victoria Hospital, which is an increase of 269%. And finally, 17 million euro, or 2.2%, was allocated for governance, the General Secretary's office, and the Department for Planning and Operations. This next chart compares total income for the current assembly period with the prior assembly period, in addition to shifts in income designations between the two periods. During the 7-year period from 2010 to 2016, total income to the LWF increased from 531 million euro to 779 million, a gain of 47%. This growth has contributed to the stability of the organization. Next, we turn to the sources of this income. This pie chart shows where the 779 million euros came from. The largest source, shown in green, represents member churches and related organizations. They collectively contributed 366 million euro, which was 47% of LWF's income in this period. UN, yeah. UN and government grants, shown in the light blue, amounted to 340 million, or 44%. This includes 172 million in government funding. Well, yes. So that 44% also includes 172 million that was specifically for the Augusta Victoria Hospital. Continuing in yellow, 9 million, or 1%, came from the LWF's ecumenical partners, and 16 million from international non-government organizations. Income from local sources and administration fees amounted to 20 million, or 3%, and another $26 million came from non-project activities. Next, we turn to membership fees. Yearly membership fee contributions from LWF member churches are a critical component of our financial stability, especially because as unrestricted support, they give flexibility in budget planning and strategic allocations. The amount contributed by each church is calculated on a fair membership principle, which considers the country's wealth relative to other member churches based on size and the country's wealth index. In recent years, regular engagement with member churches has resulted in more churches paying their fair membership fees. For the 2010 to 2016 period, membership fee contributions totaled 16.8 million euro, and the yearly church contributions vary between 2.3 million and 2.6 million. The number of churches that paid their annual fair membership each year fluctuated between 85 and 115. In 2013, the LWF established a resource mobilization office to solicit funding for the areas of work that are traditionally difficult to finance and to foster member church contributions. The fair membership fee policy makes it possible for all member churches, big or small, and in every part of the world, to be full stakeholders in the life and work of the LWF communion. The number of member churches taking financial ownership of the LWF in this way has increased from 85 churches in 2010 to 106 churches in 2016, an increase of 25%. The income variance between the 2 years was also positive at 200,000 euro. The LWF Council and leadership continue to look for ways of bringing contributions up to the full fair fee levels. Growth in this income would help to provide support for areas such as theological and ecumenical work, which have been identified as high priorities in our strategic planning processes. Achieving this increase in membership fee income would not have been possible without the dedication of our member churches and the advocacy of the LWF Council, particularly our vice presidents. Thank you for your commitment to this aspect of our life together. Your support and faithful stewardship is deeply appreciated. Next, we turn to the expense side of our results. This chart shows the total expenditures and related percentages by LWF departments for the 7-year period. From 2010 to 2016, the LWF spent 746 million euro to implement its strategic priorities. The overall annual expenditure grew from 75 million in 2010 to 140 million in 2016, representing an increase of 86%. Of the total 746 million euro expenditure, 2% went to the Department for Theology and Public Witness, which is shown in blue. Then moving to the right and shown in orange, 7% of the expenditure was through the Department for Mission and Development. World Service in red expended 70%. 19% was on Augusta Victoria Hospital in Jerusalem, and 2% went for planning, operations, and governance. LWF reserves. The general reserves of the LWF are the net assets which are accumulated from prior years' positive results and are available to support operations as needed. LWF's reserve policy guides the way that these funds are used. Because of LWF's size and complexity of work, as well as the sometimes volatile nature of its operations and related financial uncertainties, it is prudent and best practice to maintain reserves adequate for managing any associated financial risks. The next chart shows the development of LWF reserves over the 6 years. LWF reserves more than doubled from 18 million euro at the close of 2010 to $41 million at the end of 2016, although this growth is mainly attributable to the Augusta Victoria Hospital operational surpluses. The less stable nature of AVH operations as a result of cash flow challenges from unpaid and delayed collection of receivables results in the need for higher reserves for World Service that are allocated for this program. In order to protect the general operations and programs of the LWF from a significant cash shortage due to the AVH receivable situation, the LWF Finance Committee and the Board of Trustees have also set financial benchmarks for mitigating this liability risk. The next chart shows LWF reserve balances as per our reserve policy designations at the end of 2016. During the period from 2010 to 2016, LWF's Department General Reserves, excluding the Augusta Victoria Hospital, changed as follows. The Department for Theology and Public Witness Reserves grew by 22% to 532,000 euros. The Department for Mission and Development Reserves grew by 28% to 1.7 million euros. World Service Reserves grew by 14% to about 7 million euros. And Planning and Operations Office of the General Secretary and Governance were reduced by 18%, to 781,000. Other matters that are important in the financial life and health of the Lutheran World Federation include the 12th Assembly budget, the LWF Endowment Fund, and the Pension Fund. So let's turn to those next. The approved budget for the LWF 12th Assembly is €2,994,900. Against this budget, we have received pledges for financial support of $2,938,000, representing 98% coverage, a well-supported Assembly financing plan by the member churches. The 11th Assembly, held in Stuttgart, Germany, had total expenditures of $2,268,240. The location of the 12th Assembly, along with other factors, increased the cost for this assembly as compared to 2010. LWF assemblies are an important event in deepening relationships and connectivity and sharing leadership across our communion of churches. We are grateful for the additional financial support that makes it possible to gather in this way. Turning to the staff welfare plan. During this 7-year period, an important change was achieved regarding the LWF staff welfare plan. Under an agreement signed by the LWF and Abendroth Foundation effective January 1, 2012, the LWF staff welfare plan has been affiliated to the Stiftung Abendroth Pension Fund. All assets and liabilities were taken over by the Stiftung on that same date. Under this agreement, the LWF is only liable to pay the monthly employer contributions to the fund. The LWF is no longer liable for managing the pension funds or for any undercoverage in pension liability. At the end of fiscal year 2011, the pension fund assets liability coverage level was 95.8%. This increased to 108% by 2016, with the total value of assets at 40 million Swiss franc. The transfer of pension funds and increase in coverage level has reduced the LWF legal obligations for the pension scheme. The deficit in the pension scheme had been a significant burden on LWF financial resources, and the staff and pension board are to be commended for their careful work in accomplishing this end. The LWF Endowment Fund. The endowment funds was established in April 1999 with the aim of increasing financial stability to meet LWF operational needs in carrying out its programs in fulfillment of its mission. Its main purpose is to provide a steady stream of income from a diversified portfolio that manages the risk reward, and strategic asset allocation in compliance with LWF investment principles. The Endowment Fund investment guidelines follow the LWF socially responsible investment principles. The LWF has moved towards fossil fuel-free investments with portfolios of sustainable investments focused on social and environmental impact, creating long-term value to society. The total contributions to the LWF Endowment Fund through 2016 were 14.58 million Swiss franc against the stated goal of 20 million. Of this total, the equivalent of 2.4 million Swiss franc, or 17%, are contributions that are received in the United States and credited to the ELCA Endowment Fund Pooled Trust and pay an annual income distribution as support to the Lutheran World Federation. Since its inception, the LWF Endowment Fund has distributed a total of 3.5 million Swiss franc. Between 2010 and 2016, earnings from the fund supported LWF programs and projects with €1,049,216 of distributed earnings. A revised distribution policy developed by the LWF Endowment Fund Board is already serving to safeguard its goal of distributing funds to support LWF programs every year. We are grateful for all the very generous contributions received from LWF member churches for the Endowment Fund. Over the last 7 years, the LWF has taken steps to improve its financial management standards as a response to economic challenges. The following key changes were made, some of which have already been noted. A new LWF funding strategy was developed and implemented, in addition to a specific fundraising strategy for humanitarian aid that includes agreements with key partners. A new and improved financial system was introduced to ensure timely and accurate reporting and access to financial data. A new staff pension plan was achieved in 2012 that has led to increased coverage and significant financial liability mitigation. A resource mobilization office was established to ensure funding for the areas of work that are traditionally difficult to finance. A comprehensive long-term sustainability project was initiated in 2015 to respond to challenges related to currency fluctuations. As part of the LWF's long-term financial sustainability, the policy on unrestricted reserves was changed to support growth with stability. And an LWF risk management framework was developed to provide reasonable assurance that significant risks are identified and addressed. I think we can congratulate the LWF leadership and finance team for these important steps. I end my report with thanksgiving that over the past 7 years, the LWF Council, committees, and staff leadership have maintained a strong commitment to financial stability, a balanced budget, and adequate cash reserves to support and ensure ongoing operations. Their commitment to transparency, consistent application of policies, compliance with regulations, and ethical conduct are consistent with the vision and values of the Lutheran World Federation. With a systematic, disciplined, and proactive approach by the Communion Office leadership team, the LWF has successfully managed key risks, including heavy losses in exchange rates, income fluctuations, and high costs of operations. Their attention to critical issues was timely, and their communication on financial matters was always thoughtful and strategic. Like most organizations, there will continue to be challenges before us as a communion, perhaps none so pressing as the work that is before us around sustainability. But the LWF has positioned itself well to address these challenges in a forthright and comprehensive manner. I am grateful for the outstanding staff leadership and collegiality over these years and the commitment and participation of our member churches. They have demonstrated care for the financial resources prudence in spending and management, and attention to the social, environmental, and justice issues around money. It has been a privilege to work with the staff and to serve the LWF Council as chair of the Finance Committee. May God continue to abundantly bless this communion of churches and our efforts toward a just, peaceful, and reconciled world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think some people think we don't need to take any vote, any action, because that has been done. But according to the rules, we have to do that, of course. And of course, we have the discussion, as it is always the case. So when I express my thanks for the whole committee, let me say just a few personal words to Christina. In the last 7 years, we have been seated together. We have been neighbors in the meeting of officers, and I've always admired your competence on the one hand and your patience on the other hand. I think it's a wonderful combination, which is a very good sign for the LWF according to the finances. So it is really good news what we have heard, but I think a good discussion is always needed. So I open the floor for any comments or questions or remarks. Please, the floor is yours. Yes, I think, yes, please, microphone number 2.
Mr. Chairman,
please tell your name and the church you represent, please.
my name is Paul Finn from Ghana, Evangelical Lutheran Church of Ghana. I don't know if it's an excellent job that the Finance Committee has done, and I have just 2 simple questions. Number 1, normally financial reports are reported by the auditor. The auditor reports it, but I don't know what the Constitution says as far as LWF is concerned, because it's not the chairman of the Finance Committee that submits report. It's the auditor who audits it, comes in, and he submits the report. That's what is done in a corporate way. I don't know as far as LWF is concerned. And secondly, the surplus money that we have, is it possible we can send it to the endowment fund so that it can reap more interest for the many projects that LWF wants to undertake? Because we need a lot of funds to carry out all the activities and then the programs and the projects that LWF is prepared to take, because the world is changing and we need a lot of funds to carry out the activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bishop. I think the best is to collect the questions, to gather the questions, and Christina will answer at the end. I see 2 persons behind microphone number 5, please. Tell your name and the church you represent. It doesn't work. Try the other one. Whenever you come to that mic, that doesn't seem to work, but now. No. It's not a sabotage, not a boycott. Number 5 must work now. Sorry for that.
It's fine. Thank you. I'm Kulegani Makwaza from Evangelical Lutheran Church in Southern Africa. I'm standing here both as a delegate and a climate justice activist. And the reason why I'm standing is I want to appreciate the LWF talking about its finances, particularly from what I learned last year, that the LWF disinvested from fossil fuels. And I think maybe talking about the steps that was taken by the LWF, I particularly want to appreciate that, and I want to applaud, even alone. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, number 5, microphone number 5, please. The floor is yours.
My name is Rebecca Lehmann from the Evangelical Lutheran Church of Hanover, and I will speak in German. Wie wir sehen konnten, hat das Mission and Development Department 7% der Ausgaben ausgemacht. Und darunter fällt auch das Youth Office. Jetzt haben wir nicht die Zeit aufzudröseln, wer wie viel bekommt von den ganzen Abteilungen, die unter Mission and Development fallen. Aber wir haben gesehen, wie viel das Youth Office geleistet hat. Und für mich ist es schwer vorzustellen, dass das alles ausreicht. Da würde ich gerne einen Kommentar haben, wie Sie sich das aufgeteilt haben und wie da Ihre Einschätzung war, ob das ausreichend war. Dankeschön.
Ja, danke schön, Frau Lehmann. Do we have any other persons who would like to comment or ask? Yes, if it is not the case, I ask Christina for the answers. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. First of all, regarding the audited financial statements, the statements are audited every year, and that includes down to the level of projects within the countries, and then they're rolled up into audited consolidated financial statements. The Finance Committee did review those statements, and they were brought to the current council for approval, and they will also go for affirmation to the new council. So that's been the process, is that it's the report and the action is taken each year by the LWF Council. PricewaterhouseCoopers performs the audit, and so they are a well-respected and large international accounting firm. Regarding the question, and I apologize, related to the endowment fund, I didn't catch the question. I don't know, did anybody else hear? I couldn't hear. We have set reserve policies, really looking at what is the target of reserves that we should have in order to protect our ongoing operations. At this point, it is the case that there isn't an area of the work that's over-reserved. So I think that would be something that could be future consideration. But at this time, the endowment fund is operating on its own, kind of accumulating and growing its corpus and distributing from that, but there has not been any decision or action to start taking from the general reserves, which are also needed to put them into the endowment fund. And in terms of the question related to the budget for the Department for Mission and Development, I think I will refer that to the General Secretary, if I may.
Please, Martin.
Well, I don't have it here now. The Department for Mission and Development includes the youth desk, and I couldn't say now what is the percentage of that one. That is an information which normally goes to the Council of the LWF. We are very appreciative for the tremendous work with which the youth desk has been able to carry out. We can see it, the young reformers, the climate issues, etc., etc. Of course, if there could be more, it is always good. And I was particularly grateful to see the 2015 youth gathering in Wittenberg being able to raise funds from non-traditional sources. So I believe we have good potential, if we continue to do this good work, to also look beyond our traditional sources in order to resource the important work that is being done.
Thank you very much. Since we don't have any other questions, it is time to take an action. It is my recommendation to receive the report of the chairperson of the Finance Committee. Is anyone who moves that? Yes, please. Is anybody who seconds it? Yes, please. Tell your name. Thank you. And now I hope you are ready to vote, the electronic vote. I open now the vote, and in a few seconds I'm going to close it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
No, some didn't yet put.
Oh, sorry.
Let's wait. Some didn't yet.
We stop it by 1.
Read it.
Yes, I read it again.
Because if they have to put their cards.
So, according, we had the report from the Finance Committee in Exhibit 5.5, and it is recommended to receive the report of the chairperson of the Finance Committee. Those who are for, please press 1. Those who are against, press number 2. And those who abstain, press number 3. And now I close the vote. I finished it. I open it now, sorry.
Open it. You closed it before.
I'm a beginner in this electronic vote, sorry. Just like you. So I opened, and in 5 seconds I close it.
Now you can count.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. And now we see the result.
Closed.
It's closed.
You have to say closed, then they come up.
Yes, with 93%, that is 237 votes, 5 votes, that is 2% against, and 14 votes, that is 5% abstentions, it has been carried. Thank you very much.